I'm a Minnesota-born kid, born and raised outside the Twin Cities. Oldest of 6 kids. Went to high school and then went off to college. Met my wife, got married, came back here. I was early 40s. Felt that I was reasonably healthy. At least that's what I assumed. As part of the whole process that you go through in diagnosing prostate cancer, you go through a biopsy procedure. And so that was a couple weeks later with a urologist. I kept hoping that, well, the biopsy will come back and it'll tell me that I just have an enlarged prostate, and that's all it is. And that's something easier to treat, but that wasn't the case. It's a whirlwind going through your head. Because, I mean, when you hear the word cancer, that just scares the bejesus out of you. And I didn't know anything about prostate cancer.
The diagnosis was a shock. At that point, he knew he had advanced aggressive form of prostate cancer. At that point, he was thinking, and we were both thinking, that perhaps he might not make it to see his kids graduate from high school even.
Prostate cancer isn't a journey you do by yourself. You have a caregiver. In my case, it's my wife, Patty. And the interaction is very much so from emotional support. She is intimate to what I'm dealing with. She knows the drugs that I'm on. She knows the regimen that I'm on. She knows when I have to take my pills. One of the first things they do when they diagnose you is they hand you a whole bunch of pamphlets. And they say, there's organizations that can help explain this better than we can sometimes. And I encountered a guy who created this support group, and I got more involved with it. The reason you want to do that? It was important for me to be involved in support groups, to be able to not so much maybe learn things for myself, but to be able to share my experiences with others. You have to be in partnership with a good doctor, and I think with my oncologist, he and I are of like mind on probably 90% of what we're doing, and so it's a joint treatment plan. It has to be. If I'm reading something online and I say, oh, there's a neat development, what's going on with this? I'll write notes. And I'll sit down with the doc and I'll say, you know, after we get through the preliminaries, you know, all the vitals and everything and where you're at, he'll say, you know, what do you want to talk about today? And then I'll say, well, I've got, you know, this or that. What do you know about this? And he'll pull it up on his smartphone, or we'll pull it up on the computer that's in the exam room, and we'll go through things. The big decision we made was that this wasn't going to change who we were. We were going to try to remain as much as we had been before the diagnosis. I've watched people who wallow in their misery, and I said, I don't want to do that. I've got too many things in life that I want to still tick the box on. And the only way I'm going to be able to do those things is I got to stay positive, I got to stay active. A lot of activities that really bring joy to me are those that involve family, and especially with Patty. When we go camping or we go biking, it's that interaction with one another. It's the interaction with my kids. I think one of the first things was to look at the way we lived, to look at our diet, to look at our exercise, the things that help keep you healthy, and say, you know, were we doing the best things to stay healthy?
Hey, who's hungry? You're hungry. All righty.
In our backyard, where we can do some, in the nicer weather, where we can sit outside and have a meal as the sun is setting. And sometimes those are our best family moments. I get so much more out of it now. It's like I don't want certain moments to end. It's because it feels so good.
Here's to a great meal, you guys.
We look at it from a perspective that we want to spend more quality time with him. Because of that, it makes every time we spend with him, I think, a little more precious.
Seeing him enjoy it as well is also something that, you know, helps us enjoy it a lot more too.
I know this disease is going to shorten my life. So let's live life to the fullest until you get to that point. You know, if you can find those joys, if you can find the positive things, if you find the good things, and reach out for those and pursue those things, I think you can live with this cancer in a much better way. The beauty of it is that there are therapy regimens that are being developed that allow you to do these things. I've been blessed with that. I've been really fortunate that there's a therapy that I managed to get on that has allowed me to continue to live my life as I want it to be. There is a path and there is a way forward, and there is a way to live your life with advanced prostate cancer.